My name's Sarah Kingsford. I'm 26 years old, and this is about my horses and tricks they know. Eliza is 13 years old. She's a retired racehorse. She wasn't a very good racehorse. Rogue is a quarter horse. She's 8 this year. I've had her since she was about 5 months old. I get her to back away just for me wiggling my finger. I get her to come back. They're coming up. I run up at her. I got Liza in 2005. It was after my senior year of high school. I'd always been horse crazy, and it just happened that the horse that I'd been leasing before that got sold, and we just decided, since we'd been paying for the lease, that we could afford to actually get one. And then Liza, I found out about Eliza through some people I knew, and I went down to Ohio to get her. And I got Rogue because the barn where I was at when I first came up here, the guy bought and sold horses, and he brought in a bunch of babies. It was like 30 babies from out west. I think they were from South Dakota, and I was like, don't look at them, you'll want one, and I ended up wanting one. Rogue just kind of stuck out to me, and she ended up being in my price range and everything. It just seemed kind of fated to happen. Rogue is more of the trick horse. She likes the attention. She does lay down, the Spanish walk. Laying down is pretty self-explanatory. For a horse, it's kind of hard though, because they're a prey animal, and the last thing you do before you die is lay down. Spanish walk is where she matches me, pretty much lifting up her legs in time with mine and holding them for a couple seconds, and then before putting them down.
Helps if I have balance, which apparently I don't. Lift, lift, lift. Good girl. All right.
Liza does smiling and yes and no. Smiling is I don't know, pretty self-explanatory. Should I get her to lift her lip and give us the hillbilly smile? And then yes and no. She shakes her head up and down for yes, and she kind of just shakes from side to side for no. They both do Liberty, which is pretty much me controlling them off of a rope. They don't have a rope controlling them. It's just off my body language and like. just an extension of your arm. It keeps you a safe distance away. You know, the horse couldn't kick me if you know, she were to get upset and kick out. But really, I mean, it's not to beat the horse or discipline the horse, really. I mean, I will hit her if I need to, but she gets plenty of warnings before I hit her, from body language to voice cues. You know, when I actually hit her with the whip, it's because she ignored those. So, sorry, Rogue just did a big yawn. The whip's just, you know, an extension of my arm, and, you know, it keeps me safe. You know, if a horse kicks another horse, like I said, they might grunt and walk a couple steps away and have a bruise. I'm in the hospital. So I need to keep myself safe. You learn a lot of things from having horses. Patience, a lot of patience. How to, I guess, break things down. You learn about your posture a little bit. You gotta think about how you're sitting and what you're doing when you're in the saddle and stuff. You learn a lot of responsibility too. I mean, it's not, you know, they take a lot of care, they take a lot of effort and work. You know, like you just magically have a good horse. It takes, you know, every day you're with them, you're teaching them something. You're either teaching them something good or teaching them something bad. So you gotta be mindful of, you know, what you're doing with them and how you're reacting to them, because they do think differently. Horses have like two sides of the brain. It's almost like they, you know, you have two horses, because righty may not know what you just taught lefty. So if you're teaching them something new, you want to do it on both sides, and you don't want to get your horse so that they're one-sided, like you do everything on one side, and then suddenly you go on the other side one day and they're like, oh my god, what are you doing? You've never done this before. So you want to, you know, even things out and get them, you know, get them thinking the same, you know, reacting the same way. You gain their respect by moving their feet. It's actually exactly like if you were to watch a herd of horses, say like coming up to the water tank. I used to see this at my old job all the time. Like the dominant horse would come up to the water tank and they'd chase all the other horses away so they could get a drink. And pretty much, you know, they have their pecking order, you know, their herd animal. So, you know, dominant one's going to be at the top, and then you're, I don't know, not like a wolf where it's a beta, but, you know, like, but, you know, you have your socially awkward kid at the bottom, and then, you know, say the bottom horse is getting a drink and the dominant horse comes up behind them, the dominant horse is going to make them move their feet out of the way. So first they're going to, you know, pin their ears back saying, you better move. And if they don't, then they might bite them. If that still doesn't work, they might turn around and kick them. And, you know, a horse kicking another horse, you know, they might grunt and walk a couple steps and go back to eating. But, the lead mare, or the dominant horse would, you know, make them move away, and once they moved away, you know, it's forgotten, it's forgiven, and they move on. So pretty much that's what you simulate. You make them move their feet, and, I don't know, backwards especially, like you wouldn't see a horse just back up 50 steps in the pasture, you know, it's something that they probably wouldn't choose to do a whole lot of on their own, so you making them, like, back up off your body language and stuff, and rewarding the slightest try, you know, gains their respect. They realize that you're the number one and they're number two. They have different personalities, and they're both very different. Rogue's kind of on the pushy side and wants to be the center of attention all the time, and Liza's kind of laid back. So I don't know, they're different. I guess the problem with horses, like, you never feel like you learned everything. Like, I could be on my deathbed and still be like, I don't know the answer to that. Just when you think you know it all, then it'll surprise you. It's an ongoing learning process for me and the horses, you know. I'm never going to be done training them. You know, there's always going to be something new to teach them and something new to try. And they're going to keep teaching me something new. You know, every day, you know, you learn something, and, you know, they're going to help teach me more patience, because I'm still not very patient.
That's cool.
You know, I feel like they kind of make you be a good person, though. They kind of make you be a good leader, where, you know, normally I'm a pretty passive person in general, but with them I kind of have to step up and take that leadership role. You know, they help me build up my confidence, but at the same time I can have a day where, you know, they completely make me feel like I know nothing and I suck at life, and I don't know, it's emotional. Let me get this. They're my therapy. If I have a bad day, you know, I come out here and take care of them, you know, clean stalls or whatever, and you know, it helps me clear my head, and they're just, emotionally, they just, you know, help me, you know, not need to be depressed or anything. I don't know. They're just fun. They're, you know, they're fun in my therapy. I don't know. If I couldn't have horses, I don't know what I'd do.